Right, next up, let's tackle the legal team's workflow, which ultimately comes down to reviewing a ton of contracts. This was my previous role before I joined Gatekeeper, and this was my number one task every single day, reviewing, negotiating vast amounts, what felt like at times low value, low risk contracts, but they just had to have a extensive review done to make sure we're ticking those boxes every single time. Most organizations still struggle with the basics of contract visibility and velocity. Contract data is typically scattered across 24 different internal systems, and fewer than 15% of businesses have a reliable central repository. Hopefully, you on the call here have got everything locked down in Gatekeeper. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to add a contract to Gatekeeper through the employee portal. And what will happen is Lumin intake will take over, and it will extract all of the critical metadata using our technology behind Lumin Extract, which used to be called AI Extract. And I'm going to give you a demo of both of those later on. Now, all of the standard fields will be instantly populated, and any custom data fields you have will also show up automatically. I've now opened the card that's landed in my contract review workflow, ready for me to take a quick look at it. What I'm going to do is review the Lumin intake. And what I can see here is all of the wonderful pre-filled sparkles to show that there are various data points being extracted from the contract. These all look good, and I can have a quick review of the contract on the right-hand side. And just for the demo purposes, I've made this a very simple one-pager for time, because I don't think anyone wants to watch me actually review a 20-page document, although that may be good fun. So I'm going to hit submit, and what this is going to do now is move over to our Lumin agent to review the contract. The contract review Lumin agent examines each word of the contract against your contract playbook. Agreements that match your standards are automatically approved and sent to the standard contract phase for a quick human check, and then we can move it on, hopefully, to contract signature within Gatekeeper using eSign. More importantly, does this work in seconds? Accuracy is incredibly high, and for contracts that do not meet your criteria, they move to the non-standard review phase. The agent marks each unusual clause in the card history tab with clear, plain English notes explaining why it is not standard. You can then redline those clauses confidently. And I would always suggest here, that's when we can bring in our partnership with Legal On to review contracts and speed up that redlining process by up to 85%. So I'm just going to hit refresh over here, and we can see here that the card has moved out of this Lumin IQ agent review phase and has come straight over to the standard contract review phase. Now I'm going to click onto the card, and I can see here instantly that my Lumin agent that I've named Standard Contract Reviewer has done a fairly good deep dive here in terms of the contract. We can see that it thoroughly aligns with established organizational standards and expectations. Each critical element has been met. The proposed terms are fair, balanced, which is incredible to see that kind of language coming through. And of course, you might be thinking, like, we still want to make sure that the human is always reviewing that. I would have already done that, like I showed in the earlier step. But if I need to carry out a further review, I can click down here and review the contract. I can download it, open it in Microsoft Word, Google Docs, wherever I want to go and edit that contract, or even open it in Office for the web if need be. But something else you may be noticing down here is Lumin Insights. And this used to be our contract summaries feature. Effectively, that's what it was called. We've updated the language because we've made some changes to this, which I'm going to go over shortly as well for you. But what I can also see is an incredible summary of the entire contract here. All of the key clauses, all of the key terms. It's incredibly exciting to see this. And I just want to frame this, that I used to carry out a number of consultancy roles, many for government, but also for private sector defense companies, which was to review contracts, effectively do a human review and a statement like this, and then for all of our signed contracts, carry out a contract summary review and pull something together like this on a one-pager that could be circulated across the org. It used to take me days to do some of that work. This took seconds. It is truly, truly incredible. So reviews that once took weeks now take minutes. Your legal team can concentrate on higher value contracts, higher value negotiations, rather than the manual reviews of high volume contracts such as NDAs and MSAs with vendors. Really, whatever your risk appetite is and how comfortable you are to use this is really going to guide you. But I would absolutely encourage you to get using this. I simply need to publish the contract now, and I can kick off the e-sign process over here to start the contract getting signed. It is truly, truly incredible. But you don't need to see me add signatures to a contract document. You all know how to do that. I want to show you a finance use case here, because the great thing about Gatekeeper, it really brings together all of these teams that kind of work in and around the office of the CFO, whether or not they actually directly report into that CFO. There's that group of teams: ops, finance, legal, procurement, maybe wider supply chain teams. It really depends on your setup. And they all work very closely together. We can also help your finance colleagues out significantly